Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you this morning. I can hear myself. I forgot to end the chat. I'm like getting stuff together. Forgetting to do what I need to do. Alright, all that was good.
Hold on! Holy Spirit, activate! Oh no! Holy Spirit, activate! Holy
We can come up with some. There we go.
Activate!
Welcome
All right,
back.
let's go.
Yo, Will, good to see you this morning. Welcome. How are you doing, my friend? How was your stream last night? Hey, did not hit the
Welcome
hydrant.
back.
And a work clerk. Hey, drink water. I gotta go. Perfect. Good to see everybody in chat this morning. Let's go. Posture check. It is definitely posture. I'm posturing right now. Alright. Well, at least I'm good to start. Happy Friday, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome to the end of the week. And welcome back to the channels. Wherever you're watching from, I appreciate you being here. We're live on multiple platforms today, as usual. But yeah, we got game news this morning. Quite a bit to talk about. Apparently, more than just the Nintendo Direct happened yesterday. And then Overwatch made some massive announcements this week. So we're going to talk about those as well. And then, for some reason, PlayStation thought it'd be a good idea to announce a new Horizon game, but it's being heavily dragged and scrutinized. So we'll get into all of that in just a moment. But how are we doing, chat? How's everybody doing? How was your week? What are you looking forward to this weekend? I hope you've all had a good week, productive week, and you get a lot of rest this weekend, whatever's going on. As we enter news mode and get things set up, let's look at our first story. We'll talk about a Fortnite collab. This is purely self-serving. I just thought it was neat. Star Rail skins are coming to Fortnite, which my brief time with Star Rail on stream did not stop off stream. I still play occasionally. My wife really loves the game. She plays it a lot. I, on the other hand, am very behind in the story, but seeing Star Rail skins come to Fortnite is insane to me. It doesn't quite register as a collab that should happen, but it totally is happening. And so we've got Kafka and Blade, which are characters from Star Rail, coming to Fortnite. Wow, just every time I try to be done with Fortnite, they introduce a new skin bundle. It makes me want to come back. You know, saw the other day where they're bringing back the K-pop Demon Hunter stuff too, and so that looks good. Just, you know, Fortnite is what a lot of devs target their multiplayer to be, but they can't. No one can do what Epic Games is doing with Fortnite, because if they could, they would be. You know, Fortnite has put themselves in an interesting position where they can just literally collab with other games to get just any skins or anything that they want, you know, and they'll just do it. I feel like that Samus skin that they were trying to get could happen, you know, and be available everywhere instead of just on Nintendo systems. I feel like they could wear Nintendo down with how often and how big the collabs are getting. I feel like they can just really throw their weight around there. But yeah, it's cool. I might actually pick these skins up. These are awesome. But anyway, I don't want to spend time talking about just Fortnite. Let's talk about PS5 sales. I thought this was interesting. PS5 sold more than Nintendo Switch 2 last quarter. The PlayStation 5 can officially claim victory over the Nintendo Switch 2 during the 2025 holiday season. They literally got the Power Rangers. They did. Saviors of the Universe. Dude, it's like insane. Sony recently released its quarter 3 fiscal year 25 earnings. The data shows that 8 million PlayStation 5 units were sold in the quarter ending September 30th, 2025. In the same quarter, Nintendo sold 7.01 million Switch 2 units. Of note, this was the first full quarter with the Nintendo Switch successor on the market. The Sony PS5 has been on the market since 2020 and has sold over 90 million units to date. The Switch 2 was released in June 2025 and has sold 17.37 million units as of New Year's Eve 2025. So the battle between Sony and Nintendo rages on. Although Sony had a stronger quarter, the Switch 2 outsold the PS5 in the United States in all of 2025. Nintendo's original Switch is currently the second best-selling console of all time, with 155.37 million units sold. However, Sony's PS2 remains the best-selling console a quarter of a century after its release, with 160 million units sold worldwide. So, yeah, it's interesting. But apparently they dominated the holiday season, and good on them, I guess. You know, I think the thing to take away here is Nintendo markets the Switch 2 so differently that it's going to take time for those sales to pick up. But even then, Nintendo's not as worried because they're having a really good launch year for the Switch 2. It's not amazing. It's not what the Switch 1 launch year was, but it's pretty dang close. And it's outpacing the Switch 1 in a lot of ways. So that's important to look at as well. But speaking of PlayStation sales numbers, PlayStation 5 passes 90 million units sold, which is a big deal. According to the latest financial report, Sony sold 8 million PlayStation 5 consoles in the third quarter of fiscal year 25. As of September 30th, Sony was boasting more than 84.1 million sales. This means that based on the new data, more than 90 million PlayStation 5 consoles have been sold. Despite this milestone, PS5 sales remain down 1.5 million year over year, with 9.5 million consoles sold in the third quarter of the fiscal year 24. Fair enough. You know, sales are down overall, but still, crossing 90 million units in this rocky generation is a feat in and of itself. Because if you remember, the launch of this thing was rough. You couldn't get your hands on it. You had to order it. You had to, hopefully you could get in the queue to order it. And same with Xbox, and then the Switch 2, when it launched, everything's open and available. Whereas the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X launched during a pandemic, but during lockdowns. Prime time for console sales for sure, but definitely hard to get new hardware. So yeah, that's awesome. Good for them. All right, Valve reassessing Steam machine pricing due to memory and storage shortages. Valve provided an update on the release of its Steam machine and additional hardware slated for 2026. Valve is once again entering the console market with its PC console hybrid, the Steam machine. Announced in November 2025, the new console is slated for release in the first half of 2026. Now, Valve has provided an update on its hardware releases, some of the challenges they're facing, and what that means for customers. So, pricing and launch date remain uncertain for Steam Machine. In a blog post on Wednesday, February 4th, Valve revealed that industry-wide memory and storage shortages and rising memory prices have forced it to revisit its shipping schedule and pricing, particularly for the Steam Machine and the Steam Frame VR headset. So they can still ship the controllers separate. I saw some people asking about that the other day when this article first dropped. They still plan to ship all three products in the first half of the year, but they're currently working to finalize pricing and a specific launch date. They promise to keep customers updated as best as they can. Our goal of shipping all three products in the first half of the year has not changed, but we have work to do to land on concrete pricing and launch dates that we can confidently announce. So yeah, with the uncertainty in storage and memory, it would make sense. The Steam Machine's SSD and memory will be upgradable. Later in the blog, there's a fact. There, Valve reveals some of the components of the Steam Machine and notes that both the SSD and memory will be upgradable. They also claim that during test runs, most Steam titles run at 4K 60 with FSR on the Steam Machine. However, they note that some titles will require more upscaling than others, and it may be preferable to play at a lower frame rate. They're also working on HDMI VRR and investigating how to improve upscaling and optimize ray tracing performance. While it's not fair to say these devices are being delayed, as no concrete release date was ever given, the uncertainties players hoped would be resolved by now will continue due to the volatility of the RAM market. Yes. Okay. So one thing I was kind of worried about with the Steam machines is, are they going to come out on time or be delayed? It looks like a delay is inevitable because of the uncertainty of the entire market. Tech market across the board is in a weird spot because of AI data center growth and just AI in general, just consuming up the need across the markets. And so it's, it is concerning. I'm hoping we get at least a price. Release date's kind of, if I pre-ordered, I pre-ordered it. As long as I know when I can get my hands on it. Once it's out, I'd like to see some hands-on reviews and stuff, see how upgradable it is. Check the iFixit repairability score. iFixit partnered with Valve in the past on the Steam Deck, so it'd be great if they could do the same thing here. And for any other Valve hardware that gets released, just offer guides on how to replace it and direct to customers spare parts and that kind of thing. That would go a long way in to making it more of a confident purchase for me. But I don't know, maybe I'm the outlier on that one. I am definitely looking forward to getting a Steam machine though. I think it'll be a great addition to the setup. We were talking about PlayStation sales earlier. I'm looking at a PS5 Pro, as well, to throw in the setup just for a handful of exclusive games. But if the Steam machine is upgradable and performant, the PS5 Pro might not be necessary at all. What would be my limit? I wouldn't want to pay, and it depends on performance. Raw performance out of the box, like no upgrades, just buying the maximum available configuration. My limit on that would be probably $1,000, maybe $1,200. But at that point, that becomes a big investment into my setup and not just a fun little toy to play with. So it would take a lot. Like $1,200, I think, is where it's gonna land for the highest customization tier. But if everything's upgradable, I could come down and buy like the, probably $700-800 tier and upgrade as I go. I think that would be really good. Brent, good to see you this morning. So that's where I'm at with the Steam machine. I want one. Very curious how they launch, how available they'll be. Are we gonna have to like get in the queue? We're gonna, what are we gonna do? And I may still pick up a PS5 Pro. I don't know. I'm seeing them used for fairly cheap. I think people, aren't playing games as much, whereas I would utilize a PS5 Pro pretty nicely, or just a digital PlayStation 5 Slim. One or the other. It wouldn't matter to me. The Pro would just have that edge, right? But that's what I'm looking at from next bits of hardware is stuff to play games on or with. All right, let's move on. What do we got? All right, Nintendo uses major game updates to guide players towards Switch 2. Nintendo explains, this is from Insider Gaming. Most of these articles are today. So make sure you go and support Insider Gaming by reading the articles themselves or following them on social media and clicking their links. Nintendo explains its belief that updates to Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and Splatoon 3 help maintain player loyalty during the Switch to Switch 2 transition. On January 26, Nintendo launched a significant update for Animal Crossing New Horizons. This update not only introduced additional in-game content, but also quality of life improvements for those who pick up the Switch 2 edition of the game. Splatoon 3 also received a major update, extending its life cycle. Splatoon also received specific updates to support the next Nintendo Switch. Now, Nintendo's admitting that it's trying to balance releasing new titles for its latest console with easing players into the transition from the original Switch. Nintendo president discusses transition philosophy. During its latest investor presentation, Shuntaro Furukawa, president of Nintendo Company Limited, explained that major updates to existing titles are a key part of Nintendo's philosophy because they help maintain connections with existing customers. The belief is that it allows players to feel they're still getting value from their original Nintendo Switch while creating a pathway to adopt the next generation console. As we move forward with the multi-year transition from Switch to Switch 2, we believe it is very important to maintain contact with our customers who are currently using Nintendo consoles. In that sense, we thought it would be a good idea to update titles that have been big sellers on the Nintendo Switch, such as Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and Splatoon 3 at this time, he said. Nintendo is continuing to march into its next generation, however, they're not fully finished with the original Switch. The Direct Partner Showcase, scheduled for February 5th, will feature games coming to both consoles. Insider Gaming will have coverage of the presentation. So we knew about this. We watched the Direct yesterday. Today is the 6th. Cohen, welcome. We watched the whole presentation yesterday. We're gonna go over everything that was shown, but I'm not opposed to this strategy. It kind of happened with the Xbox Series X and S launch. A bunch of games that were backwards compatible, just because they were on the Xbox One, got performance updates on the Xbox X for free. I don't mind a paid update that adds content, which most of the ones I've paid for have added quite a bit of content to the game, and they've all pretty much been worth it. I'd say the weakest one so far has been the Kirby Forgotten Land update. I mean, the levels are fun and all, but it really didn't add a whole lot to the game. But everything else that I've done with these patches has been good. Animal Crossing runs way better. They added a lot of quality of life stuff. I think that was a great update. Splatoon 3, I haven't really, played enough to notice that it runs better, but I'm sure it does. And then they're, I think they added like some extra stuff for a season. And so it's like, all right, this is cool. They're doing a good job. And I have no problem with it. Some people don't like the paid upgrades or whatever, but I think $10 to enhance my game for hardware it was only barely promised to work on. It's fine. It is what it is. I don't see the issue in charging for work that they did. And it's Nintendo. They're going to charge for everything anyway. All right, let's move on. Okay, so on top of Nintendo making announcements. We had a major Overwatch Spotlight event on February 4th. That was Wednesday. And we didn't do a game news until today. So we got a lot to talk about. Renegade. Console should have died with Dreamcast, the last one worth buying. I almost agree with you, but the PS2 had Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy X and was a really good console as well. Let's see. The Overwatch Spotlight has come to an end, revealing a groundbreaking overhaul of 5 new launch heroes, a year full of story content, a Hello Kitty collaboration, and yes, a title change. So, in case you guys missed it, Overwatch 2 had a spotlight showing the next year of content, and there was a lot they showed. But the biggest news out of it, Overwatch is going back to being just Overwatch. It's not going to be Overwatch 2 anymore. They're just calling it Overwatch, which is what they should have done to begin with. They should have never changed the name to Overwatch 2. It wasn't a sequel. It was an update. You know? So I think that's great. That was a smart idea. So yes, old name, new era. Welcome back, Overwatch. Sweet. They also started the show with an actual cinematic, which I wanted to watch, but I don't know how long it is. So I may pull it up off screen and see. Well, here's what we can do. You guys can look at my face while I figure it out. Okay, let's keep it family friendly. I'll allow this message though, Renegade. PS2 was underpowered. Though every time I played a PS2, I couldn't help but think this game would be so much more playable on PC with proper controls and decent frame rate. I don't know how old you were when the PS2 was out, and I don't know what kind of PC you had when the PS2 was out, but I definitely wasn't thinking in terms of frame rate or PC specs. Nor could any of the PCs we had, even with a decent, midway decent video card, run PS2 games at a decent frame rate. There's no, I was not thinking that way in 2000 and 2001. There was no hardware equivalent to PS2 visuals in 2000. It wasn't that PC console war did not exist just yet. It was coming, and it was that generation that really introduced building PC games for consoles. But started with PC, never had a problem with PS2 or PS3 performance. I just stopped seeing games that were worth having a new console. Yeah, I feel that. Give me proof. Give me proof, because when the PS2 came out, that was the generation. We were still in the generation. We're still in the time where replicating a high-end experience on a console was a console-like feat. You know, that we did not have PC hardware that was consistent enough. So I would demand proof on that. No, they haven't. They have not always outperformed consoles. Gaming on PCs has always been a chore up until dedicated graphics hardware. That is not true. When you have purpose-built hardware designed to run games, it's not true. All right, let me look up this Overwatch video real quick too. I typed out the right thing. It is a 6-minute short. We can watch it. It says short. Overwatch animated short, 6 minutes long. Disagree on what a short means, but okay. It's been a while since I've watched an Overwatch cinematic. Okay, it took optimization, not dedicated hardware. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. The reason consoles were always appealing, especially through the 90s, is because they were affordable, dedicated gaming machines. No configuration needed. Approachable powerhouses. It was all about recreating that arcade experience at a nice cost. And no PC. Like, high-end PCs, sure. But I'm telling you, the dedicated gaming hardware did not exist, and it took a lot of horsepower. I was a Sega kid. I'd never said they could match the power of a PC. The gaming performance, the specific gaming performance, what you couldn't get Sonic running on a PC the way you could on a Genesis. There was no way without heavy optimization and heavy code like intervention. It just wasn't happening. Otherwise it would have happened. Think about how long it took emulators to run well on PCs. Yeah, I played Jackrabbit. It was garbage. It was absolutely trash. It was a game I kept coming back to thinking it was fun, and it was not fun. That was not a fun game at all. Alright, here, we're gonna watch this trailer. Can we play and play? Dang it. I wish it would alternate. It's been a while since I've watched an Overwatch cinematic.
Hey, Papa. I wish we had more time. I was thinking about... Remember that little red bike that I begged you for? And that kid that tried to take it from me. I broke his nose. I was so scared you'd be mad, but... you were proud of me. You said, never let anyone take what is yours. But now you're gone. And they've taken everything. Now...
Is she evil? Those are some red eyes.
Clearly, you have gathered us all here for a reason. I have more pressing matters to attend to. Get to the point.
We should have put a stop to Vendetta a long time ago. She's a threat.
I've been tracking her for years. She's gone from nothing to this. She's building up to something. And if we don't rein her in, she's going to...
She's going to show up.
Ah, good. You've saved me the trouble. You're all here.
They're all holograms, except Doomfist.
Unexpected pleasure.
You're not welcome here, Vendetta.
Not welcome. I've earned my right to be here, paid for in blood. But what have you done? Lurked in the shadows, carved up my father's empire, cast me aside. I want what I am owed.
Old? Child, you mistake your successes for succession. It is time you learn the difference.
Dang, I love these cinematics so much. Blizzard does such a good job. I wish they could just
Predictable.
put this effort into games.
It takes rare arrogance to challenge me.
Ugh.
My family gave everything to Talon. And like a coward, you buried our legacy. I'm here to take it back.
You deserve nothing. Power is not passed down. It must be seized.
I agree. And you are in my way!
Oh, snap. Oh, dang. Microsoft bought them. No, Blizzard's been struggling long before this.
You disappoint me. So close to your vengeance. And now, you hesitate. It makes you weak.
Hey, what? I'm not even gonna address
I
it.
want to remember this moment. Talon may have stolen my past, but I am its future. A shame you won't be around to enjoy what comes next.
I wish they would just like make a series in this universe. An episodic show would just do so well.
No more mistakes. No more weakness. I will lead us out of the shadows to seize what should have always been ours. And the world will kneel. A new Talon Empire
You just yeeted Doomfist out the window.
begins now.
Well, all right. Proximity alert. His arm makes a cameo.
Magnify.
Overwatch battle stations. We are under attack by Talon.
See, this narrative structure should have never stopped. But instead, they decided, hey, we're gonna focus on a bunch of stuff that nobody wants, and then wonder where our player base went. These cutscenes, it's the same with Apex Legends. Like the narrative cutscenes carried the game like forward, and just you could tell a story that way, and then just enjoy the game. I think it's great. I like it. It's a great way to keep players engaged. Although with Overwatch 1, you bought the game, you bought into it, and so getting lore was a nice touch. Now it's free. And I think with, well, I guess it's all just Overwatch now. Thank God they dropped the 2. But this is cool. I'm glad they went back to these. I hope they do these more regularly throughout the year. So they promised now to do year-long stories, which is, it's what Fortnite does with chapters, right? They'll do their chapter and then their sub-seasons in those chapters. Which is a good structure to keep things kind of cohesive and kind of stick to good updates instead of just doing a bunch of seasons and then getting up to like season 20 and then it's just like, okay, but what are we doing? Give people a reason to change things or try something new. And then they announced a ton of new characters. We got 5 new characters launching on February 10th when they start season 1 of this chapter, this Reign of Talon arc. We got Domina, Imre, Mizuki, Onron, and Jetpack Cat. It was literally a cat with a jetpack. That's on the thumbnail if you're watching on YouTube or Rumble. I was kind of hoping they had a closer look at the heroes. They don't feature them here. Some quick recommendations to buy in the next Steam sale. Final Fantasy. All of it. Just every Final Fantasy. Let's see. Some collabs they showed off. Oh, I was kind of hoping to look at the heroes more in depth. But anyway, we've got Hello Kitty collaboration, which I thought was hilarious. It's just wild to think about. And then Overwatch is getting a proper Switch 2 update, which is great. Which I wonder if they will stop supporting the Switch 1 version and force everybody to the Switch 2 version if you're going to keep playing. We know Apex is shutting down the Switch 1 version. In August, I think is the last. Well, that's when the updates stop going to the Switch 1 version of Apex. You have to get the Switch 2 version to keep playing. So I wonder if they'll do the same here. And it really begs me to ask when they'll stop supporting the Xbox One and PS4 consoles. I think once the player numbers start dwindling there. But more importantly, if they have any major graphical things they're going to overhaul, they'll switch off of those old platforms. But yeah, it was a major spotlight. I did not expect this much news. I mean, this was like everything they announced summarized in one X-Post photo. 4 seasons through the year, a bunch of events and collabs and stuff right in season 1, and then seasons 2, 3, and 4, a new hero. There's gonna be, so they announced 10 total heroes through this chapter. 5 of them come out with season 1, and then 4 of the next 5 will come out throughout the year. So they've already announced one new hero per season, and I guess the chapter will carry over into winter 27, and it'll start the year in Overwatch will start over in February. So that's kind of cool. Again, it's kind of nice to see like they've kind of come back to what we all liked about Overwatch. I liked the narrative side of it, and all of the new content looks good. The new heroes look good. Like there's a lot to like there. I'm pretty excited about it. All right. Next, Horizon has a new game in the series, Hunter's Gathering. Let's just watch the trailer, and you guys can tell me what you think. This is a 10-minute trailer.
Hi everyone, I'm Jan Bart van Beek. I'm the studio director here at Guerrilla. Now at Guerrilla,
Are we not watching the trailer? What are we doing?
we love exploring the Horizon universe. And with every new project, we ask ourselves, where can we take our players next? What new stories can we tell, and what new experiences can we create? And we heard many of you
I don't
wondering,
think they'll
well,
rotate
what is
out
Guerrilla
characters,
working
basically.
on? And today, we get to show you. Before we dive in, I want to be very clear about one thing. We absolutely love making single-player games, and we're going to keep making them. They're a huge part of who we are as a studio. But next to that, we also had this long-standing dream to try to do something different. Our own take on how you can explore the world of Horizon together as a team of machine hunters. It's something new, it stands on its own, but it's also still very much Horizon. Let's take a look at how this new journey begins.
Okay.
From the ashes of the old world came the machines. For ages, they were the guardians of the natural world.
This cartoony kind of painted look
Now
is
they're getting deadlier by the day.
I definitely have feelings about this look, this art style.
All across the land, people are dying.
It looks like Apex Legends,
That's why our leader
like the cinematics.
gave me this command. We have to fight back. And to do that, we need a team. Soldiers.
That big lady just parkoured over a tree branch.
Infiltrators
Looks like they want assets to get into Fortnite. Yeah.
who hide in the dark. And champions who shine in the light. Upstarts whose stories are just beginning.
Look at that Dev previously brought a Sightfall 2. Didn't announce the game. The Game Awards.
The last line of defense for those who need it most. Made up of the greatest hunters in the land. This is Hunters.
She's got a hook. She's basically Roadhog. What the heck? I didn't even notice. I saw some clips
So
of
yes,
this.
we're going with a very different look here, and that's very much by design. Horizon Hunters Gathering is a very dynamic co-op action game. We've tuned the combat so it works really well for a team of hunters, and we believe that works best when supported by an art style that really matches that energy.
I don't
We're gonna
hate
be
it, but
showing
it
you
is
more
odd.
gameplay in a
Yeah.
minute, so you can judge that for yourself.
What are those body
Now, one more thing
dimensions?
before we continue. This game is still very much in development. Some things
Also,
are gonna be
Squid, good
polished,
to see you.
others are
Welcome
still gonna
back.
change. And that's exactly why we want to bring you in this early. So stay tuned till the end, because
Well,
we
the
want to
Lego game
invite
looked
you to
like a
come
Lego
and
game.
help playtest the game with us and be part of giving the game its final shape.
Hi, I'm Ryan Buck, game director at Guerrilla. With Hunters Gathering, we're bringing back what makes Horizon so unique.
I wonder if this
Set in
was
the
the
American
multiplayer
West,
game they've
1,000
been
years
working
from now,
on that got delayed.
civilization has collapsed. The hunters are all that stand between the tribes and the massive animal-like machines that threaten their survival. And the crisis is only getting worse. The machines have grown deadlier and they're more dangerous by the day. Someone has to step up and push back, and that is the Gathering, a crew of unlikely heroes venturing out into the wilds to stop the machine threat. We'll launch with a roster of hunters that grows over time. In our first playtest, you'll be able to play as Rem, Sun, and Axel, 3 hunters with very different approaches to combat
Interesting.
and teamwork.
Is Concord 2? Nah, I don't think it's that
Is at the
bad.
core of Hunters Gathering.
This looks like Monster Hunter with a hero shooter aspect. So instead of customizing
It is tactical,
your hero, you just
reactive,
pick
and skill-based. We took the precision
what
and
skills you
tactical
wanna
depth of
use.
Horizon's combat and build it for a team
I'm just
environment.
not big on the
You'll have to
visual
beat
style.
Enemy movements, time your attacks, and combine abilities with your squad. to
It
take
doesn't
down the
look
most
like
powerful
Horizon.
machines.
Yeah, I think it's mostly PvE. I don't think there's any PvP in this.
It is a challenging game, and you really have to earn that victory. Now, when you start a mission, you pick and prepare your hunter. Each has very different melee, range playstyles, and weapons. You can select between classes for each hunter that change their abilities, from tank to support or tactician. During a hunt, you can tinker with a roguelike build system. Every machine encounter you beat gives you powerful tactical options. You've got perks, weapon upgrades, and various upgrades to your stats. In each run, you'll have to try and find the best possible combination of power-ups to take on the biggest machine.
It's Monster Hunter.
You'll be able to explore 4
That's all it
large
is.
and very different environments at launch, each with its own look, its own atmosphere, its own challenges for your squad.
I'm not
to
trying to
master.
like dismiss it. Like they
The
clearly
center of it
put
all
effort
is
into
the
this.
Hunters Gathering.
I just
This is
don't
where
know
you
if this
upgrade your gear,
visual style
tweak
is a
your
good
loadout,
choice.
and team up for the next
And I
hunt.
don't know
It is
that
also
the
just a
Monster
fun
Hunter
place.
approach looks
For
like.
example, you can hang out in your own customizable campsite, and then
I
head
don't know if the
back
Monster
into
Hunter
wilds.
approach is what people wanted. I mean, the game kind of lends itself to that. Visuals remind me of Palia.
Horizon
Yeah,
Hunters Gathering is all
it kind of
about
looks like
challenge
Palia.
and mastery.
The cutscenes
And the
remind me
missions
of
that
like the
you go on
Apex Legends
lead right
cutscenes.
into
They have like that
During
watercolor
our first
kind of
playtest,
aesthetic
you
to
get
it,
try 2
or like
very
that
different
painted
mission types.
look.
Let's show 'em what we got.
In Machine Incursion, you fight to stop a large-scale machine assault on the tribes.
Here we go.
With your squad, you plan and coordinate which randomized power-ups to collect. before facing a relentless boss machine.
Work together, win together.
Time is limited, with a violent storm closing in that cuts down your options to get stronger.
What is all this?
The next is Cauldron Descent. In this multi-stage dungeon, the hunters take the fight to the enemy. You decide which path to take, from brutal machine encounters to really challenging obstacles. They all require teamwork. Every clear chamber shapes your run and gives you power-ups to descend deeper and claim the rewards.
I mean, it looks fine. Like I'm not gonna hate on it just because I don't care for the art style. I would like to try it.
We'll continue to evolve them with your feedback throughout our playtests.
Because there's one thing I liked about Horizon that made the combat really satisfying was being able to take down giant monsters.
At launch, you'll be able to play the story campaign.
The giant robots were fun to take down.
But that won't be part of the playtest. We want you to experience the story fresh when the game is ready. What we can say is that it's fully canon within the Horizon universe. It introduces new characters, new threats, and new mysteries that expand this part of the world. And the story doesn't stop at launch. We'll keep adding new adventures over time to the game.
Interesting.
We hope you've enjoyed your first look at Horizon Hunters Gathering. We're beginning a journey and we're inviting all of you. Though it's still early days, you can expect more regular development updates and playtest announcements from us in the coming months. To stay in the loop on all of the latest news about the game.
Okay. Is there like a
brand new Horizon
a date
Discord
or thing?
And social channels?
I'm not joining your Discord. I'm so tired of joining Discords for games just for them to not do anything with them. Don't relax when I play Dark Souls 3. I got stuck in the original Horizon. I haven't played the others yet. Well, I haven't played Forbidden West at all. Anyway, the thing with Horizon was changing up your loadout to try different things, and then Base Guru helped me figure out that the trap shot is the only shot you need. It made fights so much easier. But yeah, so this is getting a lot of reactions online that are negative. I don't care for the art style. I feel like we've seen it done so many times. It doesn't look unique. And for the Horizon Zero Dawn, the Horizon series, to take this approach is a little weird because it almost has grounded itself in a like semi-realistic art style. So to shift it up, it's just it's definitely a choice. And I'll still check out the game. I'd like to try it. I think the loop looks kind of fun. It's a Monster Hunter, co-op Monster Hunter. It doesn't seem like a bad idea, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, well, let's move on since we spent so much time watching trailers. Some mysterious Nintendo trademarks are updated amid first-party Direct rumors, but hype responsibly, as one has made me less certain that these mean anything. This is from Scott McRae at Games Radar Plus. So 2 more Nintendo trademarks have been updated, spurring on speculation about an upcoming Nintendo Direct. Despite the Direct partner showcase taking place just yesterday, fans are convinced there will be a full-blown Nintendo Direct in the near future. It's likely, I think it'll be after Pokemon Day, but they have done a proper Direct the week before Pokemon Day, and, you know, I've been doing early React streams for that kind of thing, so we'll see. While there are rumors, there's no concrete evidence or reliable leakers to point to it being a thing just yet, but an updated Splatoon Raiders trademark recently released copium into the world that this rumored General Direct could be coming sooner rather than later. Much like with Splatoon Raiders, Twitter user Mike Odyssey YouTube YT has spotted some trademarks with a publication date of this month, including Rhythm Heaven Groove, or as it will be known in December 2026's Game of the Year. However, it's set for the following week, February 24th, 2026, as opposed to Splatoon's February 17th trademark publication date. We haven't seen Rhythm Heaven since it was first announced back in March 25, so it's a bit of a given that barring a delay from its 26th release date, the next Nintendo Direct might give us a look at it regardless of trademark status. However, February 17th also has a trademark filing for Mario and Wario, which is an obscure Japan-only SNES game developed by Pokemon creator Game Freak, which would be an interesting and somewhat exciting had that game not already been made available on Switch Online back in October 25. Its inclusion has me a bit less convinced that these trademark filings actually mean anything. In fact, its application filing date even matches up with the date it came to NSO, of course, with the Switch 2 mouse controls. There's always a chance that Nintendo's decided to remake the game, but I wouldn't hold my breath either. So basically, these trademarks keep going up, and people are like, oh, they're about to announce something, and it's like, hold on. Just hold your horses. I am just excited for another Rhythm Heaven, just to be honest. I love that game. It's so fun. I need to dig out the Wii U and pull up the Wii Rhythm Heaven Fever so me and my daughter can play. I think she would love it. It's such a fun game. So I might do that this weekend if we have time. Yeah, we have a volleyball tournament, so maybe not. Well, she has a volleyball tournament. I don't play volleyball. She does. All right. Epic Games Store boss says it plans to be on the next Xbox console on day one. So we've been talking about this in the Gaming Roundtable, about the next Xbox console being a PC, and then they've all but confirmed it with recent leaks and updates and things just across the board, which is great. Just unify it, make it one thing. As long as I can access my 360 and OG Xbox titles, let's go. So the head of Epic Games Store says it plans to be present on the next Xbox console on the day it launches. In an interview with GameFile, Epic Games Store head Steve Allison said the company had been having discussions with Microsoft about having the storefront on the console. Allison was discussing the Asus ROG, Xbox Ally, and Ally X handhelds, which are essentially handheld PCs which boot into an Xbox app, but also provide access to other stores like Steam, GOG, Ubisoft Connect, Battle.net, and the EA app. There is a link to the Epic Games Store on these handhelds, but at the moment it takes players to the PC version of the launcher rather than a bespoke app designed for controller support. Allison said the plan was to add a dedicated Epic Games Store app for the device, saying we haven't built the apps for those that we need to build, but stressed that the company's current main priority is to improve the overall store and launcher, then focus on making apps for handheld PCs. This led to the topic of the next Xbox console, which is heavily believed to be a hybrid system capable of playing Xbox console games, but also PC games, including access to other stores, which we've been talking about for what I feel like the last 2 or 3 years. Allison replied that it currently stands. The plan is to have the Epic Games Store on the new Xbox console the day it releases as a native app offering access to its library of PC games. We definitely plan to be on the new hardware for Xbox because unless their policy or stance on it changes, they're telling us they're going to welcome that. And we're going to be on there like on day one. That will probably require us to build in whatever their requirements are, some sort of software to support that. So, see, in October, tech YouTuber Moore's Law is Dead posted a video showing what he claims to be the main processor for the next Xbox console, stating that he believes Microsoft is positioning the next Xbox console to be a hybrid system capable of not only playing games on the Xbox Store, but also PC games on other stores. That's okay. So I'm not going to keep reading. We know this because we've talked about this. Like I said, over the last few years, we've mentioned this on and off that the convergence is finally happening. Dedicated console hardware no longer makes sense because PC hardware is finally at a place where it's affordable enough and powerful enough to deliver the same exact experience. It has been that way. This whole console generation that we're in right now really could have been the hybrid approach. The next Xbox will definitely be a PC with Xbox branding, and that's fine. I'm all for it. As long as it's as easy to launch games and play games as it is on current hardware, I'm all for it. I'll be curious what PlayStation's approach is going forward. Nintendo's going to continue to do their thing in their lane, and that's all right. I have no complaints, but I do welcome the PC hybrid Xbox approach. Just because it's one more avenue for me to like not have to buy an expensive GPU, but still get decent performance and fun games. I say affordable, I mean it. Like it's now like reasonable to build an all-in-one system that's performant enough to deliver a quality, consistent experience across the board. Now, given the AI situation, yes, that does look a lot more expensive than it did 2 years ago, but it is what it is, and that the AI bubble will burst. A lot of people are going to be affected. A lot of things will go unfinished, It's gonna hurt, but we'll come out of it better. We'll come out of it a lot better. But yeah, this is exciting. This just kind of confirms everything we've been talking about and hearing, you know, the gaming roundtable, and then on the game news, we've been talking about the Xbox hardware being a PC. So this is gonna happen. It's gonna be an Xbox Surface Duo. Well, it'll be an Xbox box, the Xbox PC box. All right. This one's purely for me. Much like the first story was mostly for me to talk about because I want to share it with you guys. Konami is releasing a 13-game Goemon collection for Nintendo Switch, PS5, and PC. The compilation looks like it will be sold only in Japan for now. I really hope this gets localized. The Goemon series, I love in its absurdity and weirdness, but it's also very fun. And, yeah, we'll watch the trailer. It's probably going to be, like, super Japanese. Not going to make any sense to anybody. Unless you know the series. I love these games. Hey, thanks for that workload. So as long as they have Goemon Great Adventure, it's an N64 game. That's the one I played the most. And I've never played most of these. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have the N64 titles on there. They're so fun, though. They're not the best games. They were just fun games. Love it. Man, it's a bunch of the 2D games. I wish they'd put the 3D ones in there, but that looks like a good collection. I hope that gets localized. It might not sell well, but people would love it. All right, well, that's all I got on game news. So, yeah. What do you guys think? We got in a little bit of an argument there. I don't mean to argue with anybody in chat. This isn't really the place for debate or discussion. So I apologize, but you know, I fell for some rage bait. I feel like it was a fun time. It was a fun time. No, we had a lot to cover though. We got to watch a bunch of trailers today. A whole lot coming this year. The Overwatch season starts next week. I may stream some of it. I may jump back into some Overwatch on stream. It's been a while since we played Overwatch at all. Playing it on stream might be fun. But I'm definitely looking forward to that new season. And once that Horizon Hunters Gathering Alpha or Early Access or whatever they're doing goes up, I may apply to be a part of it and see. Maybe we can stream it. That'd be cool if we could. Because I would like other people to see the game. I want to check it out for myself. Because I'm kind of tired of being told I should hate a game or dislike a game just because other people don't like it. You know, High Guard, I tried it. I didn't understand it. I didn't really care for it. But I'd try it again. But I wasn't all in on the hate train. I played it myself and went, oh, okay. This isn't for me. It's too many things happening. If they could refine it a little further, I'd check it back out. You know? That's where I'm at. Alright guys, well thanks for hanging out. Let's find somebody to raid. Man, we got a good crowd this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitch, hit the follow button. And thank you guys so much for being here. I definitely appreciate it. I'm eager to talk about things. I just don't want to sit here and have a rage bait discussion because it's like, I'm sorry. That's a weird take to have. Let's see. Reforged is live. Let's just send it on to him. He's got a lot of people watching, so my raid should probably go unnoticed. But more gaming discussion there for you guys if you're into the game news stuff. He does a much better job than I do. Let's cue up the Monty Python arguments. Get right. Yeah, I should. I absolutely should. All right, guys, y'all have a great day. If you're watching on YouTube, I've already got it set to redirect to Reforge's live stream. But Lano's a cool guy. He's been on the Gaming Roundtable. There is no Gaming Roundtable today, also. So, sorry. Nobody else is available, and I'm not going to sit there by myself and yak. That's what I do on my own show. So, I appreciate it. All right, you guys have a great day, great weekend. We'll see you hopefully Sunday. Love ya.
This is their response to what happened with Concord. This 100% is a course correction. They're like, okay, I tell you what, Concord blew up in our faces. We can't have that happen with that Horizon game. Let people